Welcome to the Content Creator's Guide. This is a place where we expand our knowledge on what it takes to be successful in an ever-expanding world of content creation. Join me as I sit down with individuals sharing their success stories and tips that help them get over the hurdles they faced on their journey to creation success. All right, let's create. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Content Creator's Guide. I will be your host, Patrick Conway, also known in other circles as Jaxus. Today, I will be talking to one of the co-creators of the uber popular band of crazy misfits, the Risky Biscuit Band. They have been in just under 3 years, they have amassed a following of over 16,000 listeners on Twitch, along with an extensive library of hijinks on YouTube with about 1,000 plus subs on there, and a Twitter following that is reaching the 360 mark. Please give a warm welcome to Logan Daniels.
What's up, yo? How are you? Jaxus, man, thank you so much for having me on here. I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to talk about what we do on Risky Biscuit, because I don't even know. You're probably going to help me figure some things out. We're going to have some revelations this evening.
Well, from like I said, from what I've gathered from watching your YouTube videos, being in your, in your Twitch stream, and you were like, well, I don't really know what it is that we do per se. I mean, we play music, you have conversations, you joke around, you guys are funny as shit, and you bounce things back and forth a lot. I would call you pretty much a variety show,
Yeah,
and
that's a good assessment.
yeah, it's like to me, it's kind of a little bit of everything. It's like kitchen sink watching, but at the same time, it's entertaining.
Well, I'm glad that you think so.
Well, to me, like a fun train wreck.
Yeah. I mean, it's been with these guys in particular, it has been a fun train wreck for a very, very long time. I think that it's the reason why it translated so well into Twitch, is because we have known each other all for a very long time and have been in some crazy situations on stage where you just have to laugh about it. And I think that's what makes it so comfortable on our channel.
So being a band already, kind of established in the outside world on stage and things like that, what I tend to get right into things. So what was your inspiration for becoming a content creator online?
Well, there was a necessity. We were just a bar band here in Atlanta that played a consistent amount of gigs at the same places every single time.
Mm-hmm.
And so we already kind of had this like setup to be able to just play songs that we wanted to play. And there was one gig in particular that we played every single week that lended itself for us to, like, there'd be nobody there at the beginning, so we would just learn songs on stage. And then when the pandemic hit and we lost all of the gigs, we were streaming some of our performances for our neighborhood that we lived in, because everybody was kind of in a close area and everybody was off of work. So we just would get on our front porch, turn up all of our speakers, and just play to the neighborhood, keep everybody at a distance. Well, about 4.5 weeks of that on Facebook and us playing to the neighborhood, we had like 90 people out in front of our house,
Just
all
chilling,
partying, all partying like every Saturday. And then we would get done with that, and then we would go inside and set up our Twitch page and stream a little bit on Twitch, whatever we could like kind of handle. And then eventually there was like one Saturday it rained and it shut the whole thing down naturally. And then we just decided to continue to do Twitch after that. And we picked up there was one time we did 4 nights a week, but 3 nights was about all we could handle. And then it just started growing after that. We got equipment to be able to have the full band in. And then pretty much we're here. We're here now.
So are you guys in a studio, or is it a separate location?
It's in one of the band, or 2 of the band members' homes that they have a spare bedroom that they converted into a studio. It was already kind of converted into a studio because the other guitar player, Justin, had a bunch of that equipment because he is a producer anyway, or he still is and was before Twitch. So we already had a bunch of equipment to be able to record with. And then he taught himself how to set all of that stuff up because he's got a crazy mind. He's a
I
mad
can relate.
scientist.
I can relate. I had no
Yeah.
idea what I was doing when I started, and then I was like, oh, I'll just play with this OBS Studio thing over here, and then I'll grab this DaVinci Resolve thing and teach myself how to edit videos, and then
Mm-hmm.
what's this Audacity thing? And oh, now I can edit sound. I like programs, so I just mess around with stuff, and then boom, one day I was able to use it. It's like
Yeah,
cool.
it really translated well with Justin too, because of course he had that musical production background, and so
Mhm.
he was already familiar how to run DAWs and other sort of programs, and so it OBS was the toughest one that he had to learn. But like even like he learned Photoshop and a little bit of DaVinci. Um, but he was able to put it together really quickly and kind of keep up with the trend of us like growing and getting better and better and better. So
Necessity breeds, invention, man. It's like
it
it's just
really
how it
does.
works. Yeah.
And he said, I don't want to do this alone. Although he's totally capable of doing it by himself. He was like, I don't want to do this alone, man. You should come and jam with me too. And we'll just have fun with it like we did when we played all of our gigs and stuff. And sure enough, it became a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I can't complain about it at all.
Uh, to me, it's just like a party that never ends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have never been so comfortable playing 3 nights a week with the same four guys.
Right. Yeah.
Uh,
And no fights.
yeah,
Well, not
we
not many.
not many. Yeah, not many. I would say too that it really advanced our ability to be able to be the kind of band that now would translate out into the real world as being something that would be like a unique experience. We're not your normal like cover band that you would see in a big city like Atlanta. You know, you have your tribute acts and you have your wedding bands and corporate style bands that go over really well. But we offer something that could be completely different that would cater to maybe your, whatever your needs would be. I mean, we had a chatter in particular that lived in Georgia, and he asked us to come and play his wedding, and we got to play Tool at their wedding. We got to play bands like Silverchair. They already knew our song list, and they just went through our song list and picked out the songs they wanted to hear, and curated a set for them that was not your typical wedding
You were
band.
like, okay, cool. This is
Yeah,
different. Let's go.
yeah. I mean, we were used to playing those style gigs. Like I said, we played bars and we were a bar band and we could play weddings and we had, but as far as like the people that we were playing the wedding for had been like friends of ours basically for a year, and then curated their own set list, and we were able to provide all the things they needed sound wise. It was a really cool experience. So yeah, it's
That's it. That's awesome, actually.
yeah. And it, like I said, it translates to now being like a very unique style cover band, um, to boot. Like just to be able to have the repertoire that we have, and we're really well rehearsed. Like most other bands, like in that realm, are super rehearsed. We are incredibly rehearsed of being able to feed off each other, jam, bring in new songs on the fly. I mean, when we do live learns, it takes roughly about 30 minutes to learn a brand new song, and that's pretty good for a band to just
Yeah, out
play
of
a song
nowhere.
like that, you know.
So, what was your biggest hurdle when you guys were getting started? Like, technical or whatever,
I think that I think it was like at first it was the songs. As we kind of gained a little bit of popularity to where we were averaging around like 50 people a night, we ran into like people requesting the same song every single time that we played. And it's not like it would be the same people
no, I'm
requesting the
not
same
doing
songs.
Wonderwall again.
Yeah, it was like that, and I'll be honest with you, the song was comfortably numb for us, and
Really? Huh.
because we would play it all the time. But of course, great song, and
Right.
we nail it. But after like the third time that week or the fourth time that week, it's like, dude, we don't want to ruin that song for ourselves.
No, it's just like any other song you hear too much of, you know?
Right, absolutely. And so, and a sport, especially like being the musician that plays it, it tends to have another sort of,
I have a request for your band.
okay, all right, let's see if we know it.
I've listened to you guys for a while now. Now, mind you, you may not. So it's Presidents of the United States of America, Doom Buggy.
Bro, let's go. Look, all right,
Little blue Doom Buggy
here's
in
what
the
I'm gonna
sand.
do. This is just gonna be between me and you. Just got a guy here. um, I have a live learn list. We every month we do one Thursday a month to learn new songs
Mhm.
based off of like songs that we want to do, maybe take off some songs that we don't want to do anymore. And I am going to put that song in my suggestion uh for live learns.
That's
So
cool. Yeah, because
so for
I was
you,
sitting there listening to you guys, and I'm like, well, my first thought was Boll Weevil, you know.
and I love that one too.
Yeah, but I was like, after listening for like sitting there for a minute, I'm like, you know what? Boll Weevil might be something they've already done. So I'm gonna go with something that I know they probably haven't even thought to touch. And I'm like, Little Blue Doom Buggy. That song is so quirky and funny and just I love that band.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, I love bands like that. And it was like when I was listening to you guys, I don't remember what you were playing. I was like, that reminds me of the Presidents of the United States of America. Like your vocals and everything was chiming. The two of you were kind of going off each other at the moment. I'm like, that sounds like that same harmony.
Yeah.
I bet they could pull this off with no problem.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, and we're '90s kids for
yeah,
sure. Like
yeah,
all of us are '90s kids. Rashad's the youngest one, or Will Wheaton.
yeah.
Will Wheaton is the youngest one in the group, but still, like we all grew up listening to that '90s stuff, and we're big. They Might Be Giant fans. I'm a big Ween head. I love Ween. Presidents was like one of the bands that I listened to as a teenager as well. That entire first album they put out was just
Yeah,
was
yeah,
magic, man. I mean,
yeah.
I would almost do any one of those songs
Oh yeah,
on that
yeah.
album.
I don't think there really had any songs on there that I mean, there's a couple that I would probably get tired of, but like if you're just going through like a listen through,
Yeah,
yeah, I could listen to the whole album. You know,
yeah,
it's
and
like Blind
that's
Melon. You know, when
yeah, the
Blind Melon
same
came out,
thing.
you
Yeah,
know,
we're
I was
we're all big fans of that band too.
yeah.
So
Well, I saw you guys did you guys do Change.
yes, we do
Yeah.
change. We've tried to do other songs, and uh, Shannon's vocals were just
All
unmatched.
I can say is
We do know Rain, and actually
yeah.
that's a whole other thing too. We actually don't even do the original version of No Rain anymore because we had this style change that we did one night where somebody in our chat suggested we do No Rain in the style of disco, and it actually
Sounds better.
slaps. It
Yeah.
slaps so
Yeah.
hard.
My mind can picture that. So it's like,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's so much fun. So but yeah, we're big fans of like Justin says one of his top 5 albums is Soup.
Mm.
And we can listen to those albums. I listen to the first album front to back like anytime I can. Um, but yeah, but the hurdles and stuff. So what we did was to keep from having to play the same songs over and over again. We created this system to where if the song gets played once in the month, we add it takes a $5 donation to be able to hear the song again that month. And if you do pay the $5, it'll go up to $10, and so on and so forth. And but then at the
So it
beginning,
accumulates.
yeah,
Okay.
it accumulates. But at the beginning of each month, the very first stream that we do for that month, we do something called First Hits Free, and we'll wipe all of the prices clean on the song list. Uh, and and there are even some songs that where they're so popular to request that will bump the price up significantly. Like Freebird, um, after it gets played once, it's $75 to hear the song
Thank
again,
God.
right? So and this
No
is coming
offense to
from
Freebird. I love the song, but
right.
yeah,
And you can only play it so many times too, you know
can
what
you
I
play
mean?
some Skinner?
And we kill it. That's the other thing too, is like we kill it. And coming from a guy who is like an early Skinner fan, I grew up listening to that. My parents were big fans of Skinner growing
Skinner,
up.
Credence, yeah,
Yeah, all of that stuff.
yeah,
The Allman Brothers.
yeah.
So so we have certain songs that do that are coveted. And it has really worked out in our favor because it gives us the opportunity to keep things fresh. And we're also being able to kind of monetize in the performance too. Because you never know what we're going to do with the song either. We don't even know. Like we could be feeling the jam section or Justin could be ripping a really great solo and the song is extended,
Mhm.
and two, we also have a system to where you can pay $5 or more to get certain songs that are already in the queue. Let's say that you're like, oh, I like all the songs that are in the queue right now, but I want to bump one up to a top spot. You can pay $5 or more to get your songs bumped up. So that way, once we play a finite amount of songs each stream, because we only really have the capacity to be able to do so much.
I think you guys do like mostly. It seems like you do about 3 hours.
We do a 4 hour stream, but it's 15 songs does equate to about 3 hours, but we talk about the songs. We try to make sure that right before we perform the song, we're like getting parts right that we don't maybe remember so well.
Right.
And so there is a conversation that's had. We give ourselves the time to be able to cue up the songs musically. Dog, he plays on an electric kit, and it takes him time to find the right drum kit for the song that we're playing. So that takes a good like 5 or 6 minutes. So we have to banter in between while he's looking for the song.
Right, right. You got to filler.
And then each one of us also has like our own guitar sounds for it, what guitar we're going to use. Sometimes I play piano.
What kind of
um
loopers do you guys use?
well, that's the whole as far as looping is concerned, we don't really have anything that syncs us all up. We It's all just basically our headphone mixes.
Mm.
Dog is the brain. Basically, he's got the tempo, and we just follow him, and everything else just kind of falls into place. There are a few delays that we might set on our
I
vocals.
guess with a full band, you don't really need that either. I mean, because
Mm-hmm.
like the Juke, he'll do the little bit of a drum, stop it,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll just keep going for him, and then he'll go over here and do this and do that. So you guys don't
Right.
really need that being a full size. I mean, because you guys got everything covered, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking because there's two guitarists. That's both of you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah, Logan
And both
and
of us, yeah, both of us play piano. Justin and I both play piano on top of playing guitar.
Will Wheaton is the bass player.
He's just the bass player, yes.
Okay,
And then Dog has been known to step up and play a little guitar for like certain songs, but he is our drummer essentially.
right.
But
He's
yeah,
your
we don't
he's your
really.
timekeeper.
He is the timekeeper for
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
But yeah, so we have a finite amount of songs that we play per set, and once all those songs get paid for, we basically shut it down, and you have to try again the next time if you maybe want to hear your song. And throughout time, we've developed different incentives to the creation of the song list, to make it possible for maybe people who don't have a whole lot of money to be able to bump their songs up when they get the opportunity. We always do like this mad dash to the song list right at the beginning of the show, so people can like it's we have shut down streamer song lists so many times.
Well, you kind of
Be,
have to sometimes, I mean, if you get
well,
overblown.
well, I mean, just like with the mad dash where we count down to like opening up the request line, it's just like people are just sitting there clicking on their mouses, like trying to get their song first. Because once it hits the very first top spot, it doesn't get bumped. It's everything from two and below.
Oh,
Um, and so it's a lot of fun. There's like that gaming aspect of it. And then of course we have our normal goals set for the stream that make it interactive with our chat. if we reach a certain amount of money, we'll do something like a style change, which is where we will take a vote in chat. We'll get chat to start listing a bunch of songs that they know that we know, right? Or
Hmm.
songs that they think we can do. We'll read the chat and we'll pick out four of them, and then we'll play the next song in the queue while they poll chat which one they would want us to change, and then when that poll's finished, we ask for different styles of songs, whether they be band related, like play it like Radiohead or play it like Creed, um, uh, and
Seeing as
play
Elvis.
play Corn in the style of Elvis.
That's one of
And
the things Fen does too. Yeah, so I get that. Yeah, all right.
yeah, but we get our chat to we create a poll and we get our chat to help us basically think of the songs and then the style, and then they still vote on it. And sometimes it's been absolute gold. We like I said, we had the No Rain disco style. We have done things in the style of uh, Tool. I think we did Come Together by the Beatles in the style of Tool, which was really good.
Wow, that must be interesting.
And all of these videos, all these like some of the style redemptions do make it onto our YouTube page where we've like clipped.
God, I would hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had some really cool ones. So chat, like sometimes chat doesn't disappoint. And then of course we also have live learns. We'll try to do a live learn of a song that chat has picked out in our Discord page or through like the actual like chat poll. And then we'll try to learn. I think we learned uh uh I ran by Flock of Seagulls. That was like a live learn that we did, where we've never played that song before ever, but chat wanted to hear it, so we did it.
Awesome. I mean, this is a good lesson for new content creators on how to engage with your chat rooms and to utilize that to help, especially in your monetization elements of your Twitch stream. So, this is much appreciated information to my listeners. Also,
Yeah.
what kind of microphones do you guys? I mean, do you guys all use the same kind of microphone setups or what?
Yes, and the only microphones that we use are for our vocals. Like I said, the drummer has an electronic kit, and he uses something called Addictive Drums, which are really legit sounding patches, very realistic patches that he puts into his. He has his own like separate laptop.
Mhm.
And then the rest of the band, we use amp simulators for the guitars. We use the Strymon Iridium pedals, which have a great sound to them. And then our bass player just so happens to go through. He has a direct line, but he goes through one of a really nice Avalon compressor, like an outboard compressor
Is
that
that all
Justin.
XLRs?
No, it is all quarter-inch inputs that we use.
Okay.
Even from the brain that the electric drums run from, it is a stereo signal, but it is all quarter-inch. We run them into preamps, and then we run the. That's where the XLR conversion would be, is in the preamps.
Okay, so there
Um,
is some XLR connection.
yeah,
Okay,
but all the instruments being virtual, running into the preamps, and then running into a Pro Tools HD rig that has been hijacked by Ableton,
cool.
and that's on a separate computer, and then we run a stereo mix from that computer into our streaming computer, which holds OBS and all of the other sort of
Streaming
uh,
tools. Yeah.
streaming tools and stuff, because we want to try to make we really do want to be a really great sounding band.
Oh, you guys
um
got an incredible studio sound. I can tell you that. I don't hear any like I've got an ear.
mhm.
So I listen for pops and dings and all that kind of stuff, and I don't hear any of that. It's
Yeah,
very crisp, and I think a lot of that is due to the fact that you're using a digital pickup element, and so I'm assuming your microphones are unidirectional stuff, just straight to your face. Whatever
yeah,
comes out of your mouth is what you're going to hear.
yeah, basically. I mean, they also run on their own separate preamps. They use the I think we use the I think it's Lion Audio preamps, and then the other preamps are something completely different. Justin would know a little bit more of the specifics on that, but the 4 vocal mics or the 5 vocal mics that we use all go through their own separate preamps as well. So, and yeah, all the microphones are basically, what are these, the
Sure,
7,
SMB.
yeah, the SMBs. So and
Is that the SMB or is that the MB7?
SMB,
Okay,
I'm
all
pretty
right.
sure it's
That's the pricey one.
yeah, it's your normal run of the mill
Well, this one here
podcasting
is about
microphone.
the. This one is a different. See, I have the XLR port
Yes.
here, but I also have a USB connection on this one.
Okay,
So,
yes,
and
yours is different than mine.
mine's the MV7. It's a little bit lower grade.
Okay.
As you can tell by the sound, you can't really tell it. I mean, it's still a sure microphone, but
Right.
yeah, it seems like these are like the standard for anybody who's either doing a professional podcast or musicians who, aren't going for the old studio style microphones.
To tell you the truth, they're really starting to make a big way in standard with just like basic recording of vocals, even like live performance sort of stuff. I've seen people use it. We use these to record. We actually did put out an album on YouTube and Bandcamp that were it's a charity album that we put out for unions. But it's all punk rock stuff, and we recorded all the vocals on these mics. We didn't use any condenser mics or anything like that. We just all had these, and it sounds great.
I love these things. It's kind of like I now, mind you, it comes with a lot of like equalizers, things that you can mess around with it. But if you leave that alone and just leave it flat, the microphones do all. I mean, if you need that studio sound, you can just lean in,
Yep.
and it's that kind of a microphone. So it's like I think these are just perfect the way they are. Plug it in and go.
Yeah, ultimately, I mean, it is a dynamic microphone, so you can
Yeah.
really push it hard, and it'll be just fine.
Yeah, yeah. So, when you guys do your YouTube stuff, what kind of editing software do you guys use for the video on that?
Well, Dog, the drummer, does our video editing, and he uses DaVinci. And he kind of taught himself how to use it, but
Same here.
he has a background in computers anyway, and so he's the fastest at being able to go through the content and be able to make the kind of crazy edits that he makes for the clip videos that he does. And to be honest with you, he, in my opinion, is just a genius with some of the stuff that he comes up with through our banter, and makes it just what it was already kind of funny to us in the stream in general.
Visual aids change everything, though,
But
man.
man, yeah, it really did change it
Yeah.
up. And when he started doing that and saw the kind of reaction he was getting from all of us, I really love that he took to that, man. It's been one of the in my opinion, it's been one of the coolest things to be. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some of it can be just absolutely ridiculous stuff. So it's like, where'd it go? Oh, there we go. Hi, Luigi. How you doing?
Yeah.
But and there's so many programs out there that do kind of weird stuff, and I think I saw some of the things you guys did in the middle of your shows, and obviously that's him doing that. Is you'll be talking about one thing, and then this like little character will just come popping onto the screen, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, and it captures your attention. So anything it captures and keeps your attention for a minute, that's gold.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah. All right, folks, I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to say thank you to everybody who listens to the show. Thank you to all my Patreon listeners for your support. If you have not yet and would like to, please like, follow, subscribe, and write me a review so they can find me on the internet and I don't stay in the world of mediocrity. Yeah. You can also send me an email with your comments and questions at ccreatorsguide@gmail.com, or you can follow me at Twitter on Twitter at C Creators Guide. And we'll be right back after this message and a short clip from today's talent.
I'm your host, Maverick Stone.
It's me, Gingerino42.
I'm Romer.
Hey, this is Sassy Lady.
And I'm Jaxus. And we
We are the Fallout Roundtable. Join us as we explore various topics from the Fallout universe brought from multiple perspectives. We can be found on your favorite podcatchers from Spotify to iTunes, or follow us on Twitter at FalloutRTB or our email falloutrtb@gmail.com. Be sure to rate, follow, and subscribe. Thank you. All right, welcome back, everybody. So would you like to go ahead and set up this clip we're going to listen to?
Yeah, sure. So this clip is from one of our streams, and like I said before, we do this thing called a style redemption. So when we hit a certain donation point, we get our chat to start throwing names of songs that we know, or maybe songs that might be easy for us to do. And we get them to vote in a poll, and then we after they vote on that, we get them to throw us style changes for that song. And then we throw that up in the poll. And one night in particular, we had our chat pick Blink-182's All the Small Things in the style of Nine Inch Nails. And I think it's a slapper. I thought it was like one of our coolest style redemptions. And this happens fairly often on our stream, and it's a lot of fun. Good chat interaction.
All right, folks, let's go ahead and listen to the clip.
There and Calibrin. You sweet thing. All right, we get to do a style change now.
Time.
Here's what we need from you guys, chat. We'll go ahead and start this up, but Rashad and I will
some songs.
Yeah, let's go to recommending some songs. Let's get some poll music going. We would like you guys to vote on what song we're going to change the style to or of. Style change. No, what we need from you guys right now is to throw songs at us. Have we done a different version of All the Small Things? That was good.
Small Things.
All the Small Things won. So what style are we going to do All the Small Things in? Everybody start
Barry White.
Throwing styles out to us.
Yeah.
Come on, chat. Let's get some styles going in the style of Nine Inch Nails. So in like industrial.
Cool. Yeah.
All the Small Things in the style of Nine Inch Nails.
I knew it. And we're gonna do like Pretty Hate Machine. We're gonna do like industrial shit.
Yeah.
But I'd be down with March of the Pigs too.
We could probably definitely do like Head Like a Hole pretty easily.
I think so too.
It would probably be the one that would fit the way the chord progression goes.
Say it ain't so. I will not go. Turn the lights off. Carry me home.
Yeah, that definitely, I can definitely pull that off. And then what would we do for the na 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 part?
Na 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 na
na na na na na na.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely what I'm gonna be doing now.
Oh my God, I love the na 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 na. That shit was great. Wow.
Yeah,
you guys should definitely go check this stuff out on YouTube, man. And there's so much other stuff on there. They got like short clips of them just bantering and joking around. I sat there for probably half an hour just trying to find a clip to play. And like, I was just like looking at the different shit was going on. I'm like, oh my God, these guys are funny, dude. And then I was like, because I've only been in your physical show. Like the first time Juke was there, which was the last time Juke was there, I'm assuming. And he came in and he was playing piano with you guys. And I sat there and I'm like, oh, these guys, they like don't suck. Cool. So I came back and I'm pretty basic, man. If you suck, you suck. If you don't suck, I'm gonna hang around, but like, so I came back in when Juke wasn't there to see how you guys interact with each other on your own. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. And I caught some of the tunes and I'm like, I can get down with this because I'm an old heavy metal head.
Oh, okay.
You guys, I think you were doing Rooster or something,
Oh yeah, Danny kills that one.
Yeah, and I'm like, damn, man, like just and you guys, the guitar riffs and the kick, everything was just it was on point, and I'm like, all right, cool, I can get down with this shit. And then you guys started joking around again, and I'm like, okay, I can hang out with these guys, I mean, we used to go to a club called Spanky's, and it was like a punk slash heavy metalish kind of area, but like we would party there, and it's where slam dancing turned into moshing.
Yeah.
That's kind of what this place started out was an old punk place that had like barbed wire around the dance floor,
And yeah, we use chicken wire here in Georgia, you know what I mean?
So so that the Cali boys can get a little crazy too.
Yeah, we're it's so funny you mentioned that, man, because everybody, Justin and I are really big Bad Religion fans.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, so he actually I put up a bit of a fight with Bad Religion for a long time, and then he convinced me to like listen. He was like, man, just listen to
you got to listen to it, bro.
And so I went on or I was scrolling through TikTok and I saw that somebody had suggested this book, Do What You Want, which is all about Bad Religion, like whole story and stuff. And so I started reading it, and I dove into it so hard that I just like have become a huge fan of it and wish that I had been a part of the punk scene back in the day.
Oh man, when I was a young kid, man, we used to that was our thing. Is I always looked for the strangest undergroundish kind of stuff I could find. Like, okay, so here's an example. I listened to Black Flag at a carnival for free.
Hell yeah. See, that's that was what they talk about in these books. It's like, yeah, we would just play kind of anywhere that would have us. Yeah. And somebody would have the PA and they would just be like, we're doing the party here and that's what's up. And it just went down that way because you had the people that were like willing to show up to go to the show. You know?
I mean, I was a big punk head back then. And it was like awesome. Anything I can get my hands on,
Yeah, that's dope. But yeah, dude, I mean, well, hanging out with us on our channel in particular,
it's kind of like being in your garage.
Yeah, it's like we've all known each other for so long and we have been doing this for a very long time. So we have a rapport with one another. We do like to keep things lighthearted, and we enjoy the comedy of all of us together because we're just like, essentially, if how we are on stream is exactly how we are if we weren't on stream and we were all hanging out. It's like the same exact thing. Yeah,
I would smell bullshit. I would have smelled. I would have been like, yo, bro, come on now.
This is an act.
Yeah. Like y'all are rehearsing bullshit here, It's like, well, why do that? No. I think real recognizes real, and it'll feel it.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah. No.
When we went out to TwitchCon, it was like that. We were just like, we were all four together, or with Danny too. Danny was with us, and all of us being together, just like cutting up. I mean, it just created this atmosphere where people were just like, let's just go kick it with them.
Yeah, right. And that's the thing is you just want to feel comfortable. Everybody just wants to feel comfortable. So when you get around like-minded people, it's really like, for me, I'm not a musician per se. I sung in a band for a while, and I'm not going to claim I was any good, but I've had that experience and that feeling of that bond that is created between a band. And I've also been a fan hanging out in the room, and I'm just a music nut. Like, I mean, you heard my ranges kind of flow in different directions.
Yeah.
So I mean, I like Bach and Vivaldi and Tetraskovsky. So like, and that's the classical music elements of things. And
Yeah.
then like I grew up with Randy Travis and Clint Black and things like that with my mom, and then so my ranges kind of flow everywhere.
And that's
And
a good thing.
yeah, well, to be well musically rounded is, I mean, and then the hip hop scene.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm from the Eminem era of him coming up. You
Yeah.
know, that era kind of changed our mindset. Now, mind you, I was listening to like, KRS-One and things like that.
Right. Yeah.
A little bit more of the political element of stuff and like Immortal Technique.
Mm-hmm. Oh, damn.
They're
Hell
heavy,
yeah. I
hard.
hadn't heard that in a long time.
Yeah. But at the same time, on the punk element of things, I was listening to like Clutch.
Oh, yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
and so it's like those flip flop back and forth gives you that encyclopedia.
Yeah.
you know,
To have such a plethora of things that you can draw influence and entertainment from is always better than just being like, have your blinders up and stuff.
and my point being is I see that in each of the group members that you play with
Yeah.
because you guys all have similarities, but there's
Mhm.
also vast differences between each of you.
Oh, that is very true.
Yeah,
And
I mean, I can see it plainly. Like I'm like, okay, yeah, Will Wheaton's very different from Logan over here. And
yeah.
Justin's got some variations from Logan, but they have a lot of similarities there. But
Mhm.
and then the drummer, he's got his own like technical style that I see there. But he's also got a rough, grungy edge to him.
Dog, each one of us does have our an eclectic sort of approach toward music. I personally was a really big fan of jam music and country music, especially the 90s stuff that you had mentioned, and folk singer songwriter stuff. I'm a really big fan of John Mayer. And then Justin is a Bad Religion, Tool, Nirvana, but he also likes newer stuff like Andy Schaaf, which is Father John Misty. So his range could be crazy. And then Rashad is really big into he likes a lot of the country stuff too. But he also likes They Might Be Giants and bands like Men I Trust, things that are a little bit more avant-garde. And
Dead
then of
Milkman.
course, like I said, yeah, and then of course, Dog is just he he likes anything that is going to get his ears to kind of perk up. I mean, just the other night we covered a Casey Musgraves song, and Casey Musgraves is the last artist that I would have expected Dog to be like, who was that?
That was
So
interesting.
yeah. And so, but we're all open to each one of our styles, and we bring that. We like accept that with one another whenever it comes down to us making the music, because even though one person might not listen to them religiously or like listen to that sort of style religiously like the other person has, we at least give each other the courtesy to like play the song that we want to play. We like when we do our live learn Thursdays, each one of us picks a song throughout a month's time. We put a list together, and then all of us vote on the song that they want to play. So it's like they'll give us like I'll give them like a handful of songs like Creedence, Blind Melon, Smashing Pumpkins, Talking Heads. I have those 4 songs. Which one would the boys like to back me up on? And that's how we add songs to the list. So that way none of us are getting like a one-sided sort of genre on the channel. Because we do like to be eclectic on
So,
stream.
to jump into my next question, because I want to get into this one here, is just because of the name of your guys' band, it really interests me. What went through your head when you guys came up with the name Risky Biscuit Band?
Okay. Well, it came from an ex-girlfriend of mine was riding with Justin and I to a gig, and we had just gotten struck down on our Instagram page for having the name Chief Wiggum. That was the original name of the group, but they were like, "Oh, it's a copyright strike. Fall Out Boy ruined that for you." And we are like, "Okay, great." And then
Okay.
yeah, and the ex of mine, she just happened to be super country because she was from Macon, Georgia, and she was like, "Well, y'all should just call yourselves Risky Biscuit." And Justin and I both got a kick out of that. And when we started telling people what the name of the band was, we could see the people that we were telling, they would like light up a little bit. They understood that. They understood Risky Biscuit in a loud, crowded bar before they understood Chief Wiggum. And so Risky Biscuit just kind of stuck. And then, of course, when we moved on to Twitch, we had no motivation to just be like, oh, we're going to call ourselves something different. Why don't we just call it what we've been calling ourselves for a while? Because nobody else, there's a couple of people out there that's like Risky Biscuits, but not Risky Biscuit Band. And so we just ran with it, and that was it. That's
like,
all
wait
she
a minute,
wrote about.
somebody
that.
else has got that name. Or
Oddly enough,
like
we found out that because we used to just have like a press kit that was online that just anybody could go to, and the very first like Risky Biscuit little logo that we put up, we found out that there was a breakfast store in Australia that was selling like biscuits, took the logo and put it up on their shop, and somebody sent us the Google Maps street view of the shop, and they were like, dude, they totally like stole your shit.
Well, they don't have the same copyright laws as you do out here, so I guess so. Thanks.
There was nothing we could really do about it, but ultimately I don't know if Risky Biscuit went out of business or not. I don't know if their biscuits sucked or not, but I do not promote the Risky Biscuit shop.
All right, well, I've got another question for you.
All right.
What do you think is a question that new content creators or new musicians getting into Twitch fail to ask when they have the opportunity? And of course, what would your answer be to that question? That you would think would be pertinent, you know what I mean?
I would say, how do we expand the community? Because as a brand new Twitch streamer, it can be daunting and overwhelming, the size and the scope of the community that you're jumping into, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the very first couple of big raids that we had gotten, the Fantastic Plastics and Halocene, and acts like Autopilot as well. They were all like pulling in 500-600 people a stream, and then they would just go and raid somebody that had like 25 people.
And they would shit themselves.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what do I do? It's too many people.
and all of a sudden, somebody that is like used to just playing tiny coffee shops, small audiences, maybe even like basically like still learning their instrument, all of a sudden have this audience in front of them that are either going to chew them up or they're going to find it endearing. They're going to enjoy it. And until it happens, you don't know how to ask, but even navigating once it happens is very encouraging. And so if there was a new streamer out there that was like, they don't ask that question, I think it's also because it's hard to explain what that experience is until it happens to you. But just know that you can you can persevere. Somebody is going to see what you're doing and want to help, whether they're musically inclined or not. They might see something in you that they want to be a part of right at the beginning. We have plenty of fans that enjoy the smaller streamer aspect of Twitch, and they don't come around as often anymore, but that's okay, because if it wasn't for those people that enjoyed that, we would have never been able to have a springboard into where we're at now.
Right.
But as a brand new content creator, that would be something that I would say, ask that question when it happens to you, to the people that raid you or the people that come in and are like interested in what you're doing, because that's how you catch the bug, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, and networking, man, that's a big deal.
It is crazy. And, I will say this, that Twitch music has probably one of the most positive communities that is on Twitch right now. I mean,
That's been my experience from being on the listener side of things.
yeah.
I mean, you do get, so there is the heckler guy that shows up and, the douchebaggy dudes that, and sometimes it's funner to just play with them for a little bit and mess with them. And sometimes they'll turn around and stop being a douchebag. And then there's other times where it's just like, no, you got to cut the chain on this hat, bye-bye.
Right. But it happens so few and far between. And even then, like we as a full band have the ability, we've been heckled in all kinds of situations. So it's easy for us to handle it from our standpoint. But there are some people that don't ever experience that sort of thing, and it can be overwhelming. But just know that the community that you're starting in, or that any musician is starting in on the music side of things on Twitch, that community is very open and willing to help, and it's beautiful. Way better than the video game side of things, and definitely cooler than more of the just chatting sort of stuff. And I look forward to see how it grows. I mean, my parents in particular are able to watch me perform like pretty much any time they want to now. And there's a lot of people that I grew up with that have the same sort of sentiment. They're like, I can't go to your show, but I'm like, well, now I'm on YouTube and I'm on Twitch, and you can watch me from the comfort of your easy chair.
Yeah, I do the same thing with my pop. I mean, my dad's like, you're doing what? How do I do that? Because he's like, podcast. What's podcast? Like, look, Dad, if you don't want to mess with that shit, just go to YouTube, man.
Right.
Just go to YouTube and type in my logo or whatever.
Right.
I'll have your I'll have your ma do it. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
My dad has become kind of a staple on our channel, because he'll pop in every once in a while and he'll say what up, and then all of a sudden the chat just knows that it's him, and they all say hello.
It's Papa Logan.
Yeah, basically, yeah. He gets a kick out of it, especially after we play some sort of like Southern rock song, because my dad will chime in and be like, hell yeah, that kicked ass. And I'm like, all right, Dad, I see you. I see you.
So what do you got coming up next, and how can people reach you?
Okay, well, next we have our Thanksgiving stream, which is this Thursday. We're going to go up and have Thanksgiving dinner with Justin's dad, who is also kind of a staple in our chat. He cooks a really big meal, and we're going to do like a bluegrass Thanksgiving sort of thing from his cabin. But
from the cabin, huh?
Yeah, from the cabin. It's going to be really cool.
Cool. Yeah.
And then we have we do our stream Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday every single week. So this Saturday will be our normal request stream on top of Sunday, but we have been they accepted us into the front page promotion right now. So we are in the carousel on the front page every time we go live. So it has been a crazy, crazy, crazy party every single time we've streamed since then. It's been about a week, but on Sunday night we had close to 6,500 people watching us.
Oh wow!
And it was
usually when I'm in there, you guys are 200-300.
Yeah, averaged out like that. Yeah. But yeah, it's been really cool, and it's a lot of fun to get to know our community, because people are even more hype that are normally in our chat. And we encourage people to come on and say hello and get to know us a little bit more. So
awesome, most definitely. Yeah. And then my final question of the night.
Okay.
What key takeaway would you like the listeners to get from your time here on the show today?
I would say that despite all of the things that I've talked about in the progression of how we have, made our Twitch channel what it is today, don't ever be afraid to just do it, fail a little bit, but also reach out to other content creators, even the ones that might seem to be successful compared to maybe your startup, because especially with people like us, we're very open to talking about how to set things up and setting a standard for being a music streamer on Twitch. And that open door policy happens a lot with other content creators. So just don't be afraid to reach out and say hello and ask questions.
I've found that myself listening to having conversations with Juke and guys like that. All of you guys say pretty much the same thing, is that you're open for helping others. And
Mhm.
I think that's really cool because there's nothing in it for you other than creating a community of people that work together and a fellowship. It's kind of takes me back to the 90s when uh music kind of did like a revamp towards like this kind of hippie era kind of thing where everybody
Mhm.
was really cool to each other. It's like, you know, Blues Traveler and things like that. We're like
Yeah.
getting back into, you know, we had the God, Woodstock, I mean, that
Oh
came
yeah.
back. And it's like before they ruined it with the psychotic mosh pit that kind of got out of
Yeah, that
control.
that got a little crazy.
Yeah, but
But we
the
but we encourage like the collaboration as well.
Mhm.
There is that aspect. Once again, Danny, we have him come and sit in with us. If you reach out to us and it's appropriate to have you onto our stream, like we would love to be able to back up some of these like solo content creators that have maybe would love to have a band jam with them on maybe their original stuff or
I
like
did
sit in
notice you
with
had a
covers.
young blonde lady on recently.
Yes, her name was Colleen Dauncey Music, and we met her through streaming as well. And we met her out at TwitchCon, and she was like, "Well, I have the freedom to travel, so you mind if I come and sit in with you guys for a little while?" And of course, we obliged, and we've had Matt Suarez Music come and sit in with us.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
yeah,
He's somebody I'm working on catching him at the right time so I can interview him too.
yeah, he's great. He traveled to Willitown, and on his way out, he sat in with us in Atlanta. And then I just happened to have a personal trip out at Lake Tahoe for a friend's wedding. And he was like, "That's my town. I can get us a gig." And he ended up booking us a gig out at Lake Tahoe where I got to jam with my brother and Matt and on this like stage for all my friends like that were at this wedding and stuff.
Sweet.
And that sort of collaborative effort is definitely something that the Twitch community, music community has and is open to. We're even setting up other people that come and sit in with us as well. So that way we can we just want to expand the community and make it a fun experience for
Yeah,
everyone.
that's what I'm enjoying. That's what I'm getting. I'm digging doing all these interviews,
Mm.
and at some point, I would like to do like a satellite thing and meet up with people, and actually have like a face-to-face conversation with you guys, like at a live band moment. Like, what's that place that Juke goes to? I can't remember. He's
Oh, the
been there for years.
Mac Magoo's,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but it's a really cool place. But I would like to visit these places and experience what they do outside of the Twitch world and kind of combine them together.
Mhm.
That's another show for another day.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have an idea for that sort of thing. Because we have such a standing here in Atlanta, we've all been playing in Atlanta for a long time. We know a lot of venues, and being able to facilitate a Twitch sponsored show with a bunch of musicians to all like sit in together and do their stream from the venue. It's something I could talk about all day. I would love to be able to facilitate it, but it's a logistical nightmare right now. But
Well, of course, but you know what? Doesn't mean it's impossible.
I know that's how I feel about it too.
Yeah. All right, folks, that's going to do it for us today. I hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to check out my guest work and keep creating. Bye-bye.
This podcast is part of the Robots Radio Rocket Club, a program designed to help all podcasts reach their full potential. For information about joining the Robots Radio Rocket Club, check out robotsradio.net.